Tired of ordinary television? Well, don't touch that dial because this little number of a sketch comedy show is on the air. Let's talk about Second CTV, or better known to us as SCTV, today in this TV log. This is a Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews TV log. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. This is Duel, the Big D to you, back again with a special TV log. Today I'm going to be talking about a really funny show and what have you that was full of sketches and what have you. Well, after Saturday Night Live had just made it, there would soon be a Canadian type sketch show that would follow in its footsteps in a way. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a show that features some pretty big names that would become pretty big stars later on. Yep, it's one outrageously funny show, but it's also the name of a, well, fictional network. So now, without further ado, I bring to you the one and only SCTV. SCTV, or Second City Television as it was called, also known as SCTV Network 90 or SCTV Network or SCTV Channel, was a Canadian sketch comedy show that originally premiered in 1976. It originally premiered on the Global Television Network in Canada. It got shown on CBC as well, and then later it made onto the US scene on NBC in the 80s. And then it got shown on another Canadian English channel and also Cinemax later on. Anyway, this was created as an offshoot from Toronto's Second C Troop, a rare example of a Canadian show that moved successfully to US television, as I've mentioned. As it aired as SCTV 90 from 1981 to 1983. It was just simply Second CTV when it first started in 1976 going to 1981. For its first 3 years, it aired on the Global Network and then CBC afterwards. And then aired on on Super Channel, which was now Movie Central to you in Canada. In the US, it got shown on NBC from 1981 to 1983, and then on Cinemax from 1983 to 1984. A total of six seasons were up, and 135 episodes were produced and aired throughout this run. Yes. The show's premise is the broadcast day of a fictitious TV station later network in the town of Millenville. The location of this city is left unspecified, and the earliest episodes imply it is in Canada. Most later episodes place in the US. Now, a typical episode of the show presents a compendium of programming seen on the station throughout its broadcast day. A given episode could contain SCTV news broadcasts, sitcoms, dramas, movies, talk shows, children's shows, advertising setups, hawking fictitious products, and game shows. Several shows are seen regularly, like the SCTV News, of course, soap opera, the days of the week, late night movie features, Monster Chiller Horror Theater, and Dialing for Dollars, and Great White North, a show centered around two Canadian hosers, among others. Now, also seen fairly frequently throughout, particularly in later shows, are behind the scenes plots focusing on life at the station and her network, which would feature the chief tyrannical owner and president, Guy Caballero. Despite being perfectly ambulatory, uses a wheelchair to earn respect or sympathy from employees and viewers. There's lots of other characters, well, seen around. Manager Maurice Mo Green, and succeeded in the position by the flamboyant leopard-skin clad foul-mouthed Mrs. Edith Prickly, vain variety star Johnny LaRue, washed-up entertainers such as singer Lola Heatherton, and comedian Bobby Bittman. News anchors Floyd Robertson and Earl Camembert, which of course were parodies of a couple of Canadian news reporters from that time. Talk show host Sammy Mullen and cult stardom destined and beer-addled brothers Bob and Doug McKenzie, who of course most people probably knew them very well. The small cast, typically 6 to 8 members at any given time, play a wide variety of other station roles, ranging from program hosts to commercial spokespersons. They also impersonate numerous popular celebrities appearing on the station's programming. Now, I've actually remembered Sctv when Cinemax aired it. And then, well, that was unfortunately before it was even canceled. And then soon, when it got picked up by TV Land years later, I managed to get to see the show. And I've got to tell you, it was very, very funny and what have you. So, anyway, I think this was just so outrageously funny. Now then. Now, the show's main cast consisted of John Candy, Joe Flaherty, whom I'm respectfully dedicating this video to since we lost him a week ago on the last Monday. Eugene Levy, Andrea Martin, Rick Moranis, Catherine O'Hara, Harold Ramis, Martin Short, and Dave Thomas. No, not the Dave Thomas of Wendy's fame. No, no, no. It's a comedian. I think you'll know who it is when you see him. There would also be other people who appear, including Robin Duke and Tony Rosado. Now, of most of the series run, Flaherty, Levy, Martin, O'Hara, and Thomas and Candy were mostly shown for most of the series run. Some of them took a leave of absence. Martin Short later joined the group later on in the 80s. And what can I say? This was just so outrageously funny. They play all sorts of characters and what have you. During its network run on NBC, the show got 15 Emmy nominations, often with multiple episodes competing against each other. Really something. Anyway, now of course, Shout Factory had released the series on DVD in various volumes, so you may be able to find. There's been 4 of them. Now, all episodes from seasons 4 and 5, which air on NBC, have been released in 4 volumes. And a best of DVD features episodes from the 2nd and 3rd seasons. There will be 2 others. Christmas with Sctv, which featured 2 Christmas themed episodes from the NBC run, A1 and A2, and Sctv Best of the Early Years with 15 selected episodes from the 2nd and 3rd season. There would be various stage reunions and lots of others. Now, although the show was never directly adapted as a film, the characters of Bob and Doug McKenzie, who were played by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, would actually appear in the cult classic Strange Brew, which came out in 1983. There was a sequel planned for the late 90s, but it never got produced. There was also possibly a reunion special to be done by Martin Scorsese, but unfortunately it has never materialized and has yet to be aired and has not aired due to Scorsese's many commitments. So who knows what will happen with that. Now, of course, many of the stars on Sctv would go on to appear in other films. John Candy, I think you know especially, he went on to be in a lot of films. Among some of those included Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and let's see, he appeared in Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor, and Uncle Buck, and tons of other films. Eugene Levy, he of course appeared in the American Pie franchise, and he also appeared in some of Christopher Guest's mockumentaries, such as Best in Show and A Mighty Wind. Same with Catherine O'Hara, who also appeared in Beetlejuice, Home Alone, and many other films. Dave Thomas and Joe Flaherty would actually reteam as Sam and Sid Sleaze in Sesame Street Presents Follow That Bird, which John Candy actually had a cameo as a police officer. Hmm. And of course, there was Martin Short, who was well known for giving us the zany character, the cowlick haired Ed Grimley. He would actually have his own Saturday morning show called The Completely Mental Misadventures of Ed Grimley in 1988, which actually did use a little bit of the Count Floyd show that was shown on SCTV as part of the show. But however, that show only lasted a season, and I'd say that's probably one show I have yet to talk about on the Saturday morning TV log. Now, Harold Ramis, who of course would go on to appear in Stripes, Ghostbusters, and many other films, and would go on to direct films like Analyze This and Bedazzled in 2000, would actually be a part of this for the early run. Andrea Martin would do some voice acting and what have you. She voiced the teacher in Frosty Returns, and she'd also voiced Miss Meanie in the new Woody Woodpecker show. Oh, I gotta say, the list goes on. Now, Joe Flaherty, may he rest in peace, played Guy Caballero, the owner of SCTV. He also played Floyd Robertson and Count Floyd and other characters. He also voiced Sammy Maudlin. And let's see, Harold Ramis played Mo Green. Andrea Martin played Mrs. Prickly. Johnny LaRue was played by John Candy. Lola Harrington was played by Catherine O'Hara. And Eugene Levy played Bobby Bitumen and Earl Camembert. Now, of course, I mentioned Bob and Doug were portrayed by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. Another fun fact: they would actually reprise do the voices of those characters when they voiced the two mooses in Disney's Brother Bear. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Rick Moranis also went on to be in Ghostbusters. He was in the remake of Little House of Horror. Not Little Shop of Horrors. Oops. Yeah, I had myself. My bad. Let's see. And of course, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the Flintstones. Yep. And of course, Martin Short, after even aside from the Ed Grimley show, he would also go on to be in various movies. Like one of my favorite guilty pleasure films, A Simple Wish. And of course, he played Jack Frost in the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. And let me tell you, the list goes on and on. I am just going to say this was just so zany and what have you. Now, after it ran, the second C television syndicated half-hour episodes and 90-minute episodes were re-edited into half-hour shows for a revised syndicated package, which consisted of 156 re-edited episodes. In 1990, a separate package of 26 half hours, edited from the pay TV SCTV channel episodes, aired on the Comedy Channel, which would later be known as Comedy Central. I believe. No, wait, take that back. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was the Comedy Channel. Then it later was, yeah, and then it was rebranded as Comedy Central. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oops. Still, and then, of course, it still got shown in syndication for a few more years. And, well, TV Land was the only place I knew of where it got shown. Now, it's pretty tough to find episodes of it. You may be able to find some episodes on YouTube, maybe. It just depends on what have you. You can, but however, the only thing you can find would be various clips, which you can find on channels that like the Second C or SCTV. Yeah. Yes, because there's two separate channels and what have you, including SCTV and the Second City. Yeah, but just don't get the SCTV thing mixed up, because there's another SCTV out there, so don't get mixed up and what have you. But anyway, this show is so funny and what have you. let me go ahead and give you a look at, well, the well-known cast of the series. Here's a look at the cast I'm very well familiar with. At the top, we see the late, great Joe Flaherty. And then, of course, next row we have the late, great John Candy. Then Rick Moranis and Eugene Levy. And there, of course, is Catherine O'Hara. And the bomb is Andrea Martin and Dave Thomas. Here's a shot of the five guys as the five neat guys and a little funny little ad that was shown on there. I haven't watched it yet, but I think I will look into it though. And here's a shot of Eugene Levy and Joe Flaherty as their news reporter characters on the Sctv news report. That was one of my favorite parts. But anyway, there's lots of other skits you can find and what have you. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you a look at some of the few good ones and what have you. I'm sorry I couldn't find much with the gals though, so I do apologize for that. But if you ever get a chance to look into Sctv, I would recommend this. If you're into Saturday Night Live or any of those sketch comedy shows from before then or after then, I'd say you're going to feel right at home at Sctv. You will love it. It's television like you've never seen before. It's the Sctv network. Trust me, you'll get a good laugh from it. It's one of the craziest shows you could ever imagine. So that's going to do it for this video. What did you think of Sctv? Have you ever seen it? If you have, let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation, and continue to help my channel grow with the views and what have you, and subscribe. The subscribers as well. You know what I'm saying. And next time I'll be bringing to you another TV log, only it's going to be a revisited one. And it'll be on a sketch comedy show that came long before Sctv or Saturday Night Live. Rowan and Martin's Laughing. So anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this TV log. And if you did, you may want to check out some of these other vids and what have you. And I'll give you some of my reviews with some of the cast members of Sctv. In the upper left-hand corner is one of my earlier reviews, and it's on the original American Pie, which is actually, well, turning 25 this year. Eugene Levy was in it. The upper right-hand corner is my review of the great classic Happy Gilmore, which, of course, Joe Flaherty had an appearance in. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my re-review of Beetlejuice, which Catherine O'Hara appeared in. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the TV log, then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.